Hey everybody, we're going to be talking a little bit about refining our way into trades instead of just simply using the medium time frame here. So on the 4-hour, we can see we've had a sweep, gives us type 1, gives us a dealer range, right? This is the range that we're dealing in. So we're expecting a pullback into some form of liquidity to then push to the expected week low, right? So as we push up, we have no clear area to trade from with a stop that is anything reasonable. So we wait for refinements, right? As we push into this FEG, liquidate, push down, leaving a tradable FEG, then OB, pushes in, comes back up, taps into that FEG. Of course, this by itself is tradable. The RR isn't great. So what we can do now is drop to the lower time frame and follow order flow as it progresses, as the leg develops away from the initial cause, and just follow the effect, or in other words, the consequential order flow to the target, right? So what does that look like in practice? You'll see why I highlighted this piece of price actions specifically. So we run liquidity into our POI, which is the FEG. And now we're looking for a shift in order flow to push us down or re-engage us with that higher time frame intention to bring us down lower from this point. So what does that look like? That can look like an SMB or a failed ISP. Okay, so we have a failed ISP here where price pushes in to the FEG, pushes down. If order flow was in fact bullish to come take out the high, we would see that this is respected to take out the highs. It doesn't happen. It attempts to push up, and then it pushes down and takes out the origin of that up move, right? That's where an ISP was in development, failed to take out the other one, therefore it is never created, and that gives us a failed ISP, which shifts our intention bearish. You have a potential trade somewhere in here. Stop above the previous ISP, possibly above here, or we can then confirm it with another break of structure, giving us a new order flow range. So if we follow these order flow ranges, we have one here. We have another one right here. This is the current order flow range. So we look for FEGs. You clearly have several attempts to enter on this FEG. You have 1, 2, 3 attempts to enter on this FEG, just covering the previous ISP because we understand that price shouldn't come out of this dealer range, right? Then when we break the low, have a break, comes out, it just sweeps, but then we clearly have a break here. We see that there's no FEG available. We look at the one that caused it, right? The high or the ISP that caused the break is right here. We have no clear FEG available. So what do? We go down the list of consequential order flow. The 3 rules. First rule, if there are multiple FEGs, take the stacked one. No. If there is one FEG, take it. No. If there are no FEGs, assume sub will be used as liquidity. Okay, but there's really, how do we see the sub in this leg here? Is it going to run above liquidity here, or is it going to run and stop somewhere in here? So what we can do is we can use logic behind the ISPs, understanding that the previous one should be protected. Now we want to be safe and select type 1s, not type 2s, okay? Because we've taken liquidity out of the market. We've taken some liquidity out of the market. We don't want to be trading just from type 2s. So what we can do is we can use the type 1 range as a POI. So if I select that candle there, that swept liquidity, came up, swept a little bit of liquidity, above here, push down, no clear FEG. There's also no clear sub, but like what candle do you select? The candle you select is simply that range, or the candle that produced the type 1. Push in, and then that should take you right to your next drawn liquidity, right? So there's so many different ways that you can monitor price action on the way developing from that original POI onto the draw, right? So this is how order flow works, following those 3 simple rules, right? Here again, we see that type 1. You can carry that over as its own POI because you understand that the high that type 1 should be protected if order flow is bearish, and we understand that type 1s give reactions. So you have a very clear entry there. So you have one possible entry, two possible entries, three possible entries for the same move, which is resulting from this overall POI to take us down here.